Okay, so we are doing, it is actually the second part of 8.1. I forgot to tell you guys that, 8.1, but I'm just more concerned about the trig ratios. We're going to start with sine. We have sine of theta is the opposite of the angle over the hypotenuse. So I have this triangle down here. Opposite of angle A is side A, opposite of angle B is side B, and the hypotenuse is always C. So if I want the sine of A, I have opposite of A is A, and the hypotenuse is C. So I have A over C. If I want the sine of B, I go to angle B. The opposite of angle B is side B over the hypotenuse, which is always C. So now we'll go to the next one. Now you guys are all cut up. Next one. Ready? Okay, so I have the sine of A first. So A is up at the top, yes? So what side is opposite A? 3. So it's 3, and the hypotenuse is what? 5. So the sine of A is what? 3/5, or 3 over 5. So now I need the sine of B. So I go to B, and I go opposite of B is 4, and the hypotenuse is 5. So it's 4/5. Make sense? Okay, why don't you guys try the next one?
Boy. A buoy. I'm done.
Okay, so sine of A, what side is opposite of A? 15, and the hypotenuse is 17. Then I go B, opposite B is 8, and the hypotenuse is still what? 17. So sine is what? Opposite over hypotenuse. And when I say opposite, it's opposite of that angle we're talking about, correct? Does that change dependent on which angle we're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. It will be the two acute angles we are talking about. Again, the right angle does not have an opposite, does it? It just has a hypotenuse. It is the hypotenuse. Do you have a question, Mason?
Yeah.
What?
Are you going to want us to divide those?
You will leave them as fractions, but you will reduce if you need to reduce.
So like simplify?
Yes, you will simplify your fractions always, but you won't give me a decimal. Okay?
So if it's 4 over 8, you change it to 1/2?
Yes. Okay, so the next one we have is sine. So again, let's label our triangle. So opposite A is A, opposite B is B, and opposite C is C, which is the hypotenuse. Yes? Okay, cosine, again, of an angle, theta, is adjacent, also abbreviated as A,
ADG.
over the hypotenuse, abbreviated as H. So it is adjacent. So adjacent means next to, it means touching, correct? So we're going to go down to here and just fill it out with A's and B's and C's. So I have the cosine of A. So I need the adjacent over the hypotenuse, yes? So I go to A. What side is touching A? B. C is the hypotenuse. It's not a side. So B. And the hypotenuse is what? C. So it's B over C. So then I need the cosine of B. So I'm at B, correct? And adjacent to that is what? A. So I have A over C. Do you see how I'm actually like touching my paper and finding my sides?
Yep.
That does help. Okay? So let's go to our next one. You will have to reduce this one, so don't use your whole line. So I need the cosine of A. So I'm at A. Adjacent to A is 16. And the hypotenuse is what? 34. How did I know I needed to reduce before I even did the problem?
Because they're both even.
They're both even. All the sides are even, aren't they? So 2 goes into 16 how many times? 8. And 2 goes into 34 17 times. So the answer is 8 over 17. Okay, so I need the cosine of B. So I touch B, and cosine is adjacent, correct? So it is 30 over 34.
17 over 19.
How about 15 over 17?
17 over 19.
No,
It's 15 over 7.
it's 15 over 17. 30 over 34 divided by 2 is 15 over 17.
We said 71 over 30 though.
No?
That's what we did. Oh, it's 34.
Yeah.
So it'd be 15 over 17.
30 divided by 2. Okay, now before I started, I see 16, 34, and 30. Could I divided them all by 2 before I even started? Yeah. But we typically don't want to change the sides of the triangle, right? But don't forget to reduce, okay? So try that next one on your own. Please put your phone down. You don't need a calculator. Next time I'll have to take it. You guys done already?
Yeah, I am. I was already done.
Oh, you're already done. Okay, cosine of A is 7 over
25.
25. And then B,
24.
24 over 25. So are these hard, guys? No. If I label or don't know what adjacent and opposite is, this is going to be kind of hard. Yeah. Questions on cosine before we move on?
No.
Okay, tangent. Now do you see why I said you have to know these? I'm not going to. Okay, tangent is opposite
Opposite over adjacent.
over adjacent. Or O over A. And let's label our triangle. So AC is what? B. CB is what? A. And AB is C. Or the hypotenuse, right? Okay, so tangent of A. And I am going to point out, guys, all of these letters should be lowercase. You should not be doing uppercase. I actually got this from somewhere, and I couldn't change them to lowercase, and it really bothers me. These should be lowercase T's and C's and S's. Uppercase means something completely different. Cooper, can you focus?
What does uppercase
Thanks.
mean?
It means a restricted domain.
I don't even know what that is.
Right. It's in trig. Okay, so I need the tangent of A. So I need the opposite of A is what?
See?
The opposite of A is A. You see how I just took my pen and went opposite?
Yep.
And I hit A, didn't I? So opposite of A is A. And adjacent to A is what? B. The hypotenuse is not adjacent, is it? The hypotenuse is only the what? Hypotenuse. It never changes. Okay, so I'm on B. Opposite of B is what? Opposite of B is B. Are you good? Adjacent to B is what? Adjacent to B is what, Brian? A. C is the what? Hypotenuse. Can the hypotenuse be anything other than the hypotenuse? No. Do you want to try both of these on your own? Okay, guys, stay together. Okay, so were you trying this one on your own when the alarm went off?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there 1 1/3?
No mixed numbers.
forgot how to do this.
Wait.
Opposite of adjacent. You're going to have to reduce the first one, aren't you?
You can reduce them both.
Right.
Well, yeah, I meant the first triangle.
Oh.
Quit tipping on the chair, please. Go find a stool. I'm sure there's one around.
Over there. Can I tip on this? Balls back.
You guys ready for me to do it?
No, I like to fall off of those.
That's true. Okay, so opposite of A is 20. Adjacent to A is 15.
You can sit
So 4 over 3. Okay. So tangent of B. Opposite B is 15. Adjacent to B is 20. So I get 3 over 4. So those are reciprocals of each other, right?
You can't make a 1 1/3?
No.
That's messed up.
You can't do any math with mixed numbers. Why would you do that? Because you have to put it right back into improper fraction.
Make your life.
Okay. You guys working on the next one now?
Yep. Got you stir.
Cooper, what'd you get for A?
21 over 20.
21 over 20? Everyone agree?
Yep.
Am I going too fast?
Nope.
Okay. Mason S.
What?
What is the sine or the tangent of B?
20 over 21.
20 over 21. Good job.
But it's not working.
Questions, guys?
No.
No? Okay. We good?
Oh, there you go.
Okay. So go to the next. This is a procedure list that might help you. The first thing you are going to do in your procedure is you are going to circle the angle you are using. How about R?
You using.
You using.
I just wrote angle using.
Well, they just wrote angle, and that sounded kind of weird just to write angle to me. So circle the angle that you are using. And I kind of did that. We're going from this angle to here, right? Label the sides that are marked in reference to that angle. That angle right there. Our possible pairing is opposite
Over adjacent.
hypotenuse, adjacent
Over hypotenuse.
hypotenuse, or opposite over adjacent. If we are given opposite over hypotenuse, we're going to use what?
Side.
Sine. So down here, sine equals
Opposite.
opposite,
And then adjacent.
and then cosine is
Adjacent.
adjacent
And then
over opposite or hypo. And guys, I'm just going to put O over H in the future and A over H. Would that be easier? Yes. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent or O over
opposite.
A. Now, again, I have said that you can't use, oh, I got to fill in one more blank and then I'll go back. So set up and solve the equation. We have to solve equations. We can solve for an opposite, an adjacent, a hypotenuse, but we'll also be solving for the angle. Okay, so we're also going to be solving for the angle because it may be unknown. And if I have 2 of 3 things in an equation, can I solve for the other? Yes, so I will show you how to do that. So what you have is you have a trig ratio. Okay, what are the trig ratios that we've done today? Sine, cosine, and tangent. So this right here can be sine, cosine, or tangent of an angle equals side over
Side.
side. Move that up a little bit. So that's the process we're going to have. Now, we have to remember what is sine, cosine, and tangent, don't we? So this is how you can do it. It's a mnemonic device you may have heard before. People say, just use SOHCAHTOA. So it is so, you want to write this in your notes. Do not put them away. Ka, SOHCAHTOA. Now this is how it works. SOHCAHTOA. Not hard. Takes you about 3 seconds to write down. S stands for guess what?
Sine.
Sine is opposite over
Hypotenuse.
hypotenuse. C is
Adjacent.
cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse. And T is
Tangent.
tangent, opposite over adjacent. With those 2 seconds, did you just write down all the notes we just took?
Yes.
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 Now, on your test, no notes, but can you write this down?
Yep.
Should you write that down every worksheet I give you?
Yep.
Yes.
Do your free points.
There is no notes today. No homework today.